Hello po, my name is Maegan Ilagan po. I am a realtor from Royal LePage Prime Real Estate. And yes, like Tito Aldros had said, I am a young realtor. So I'm actually only 20 years old, but I'm actually very well into the real estate scheme and I'm really enjoying it. So yeah, it's great to be here.
Okay, nakaka-excite interview natin the very young realtor po dito at saka na po, very knowledgeable na po siya. So, mga questions po natin dito is mga pang Gen X, mga bago, no? Okay po. So, saan po yung nakakoncentrate? Buying or selling sa realty po?
Well, with real estate naman po, no, we are able to help both buyers and sellers po. So there's not really parang concentration. We can pretty much help anyone that comes to us. We are equipped with knowledge about buying, kung kailangan nyo ng advice about buying. And of course, we also have knowledge about selling naman po, since we all have different needs in that. So lahat po ng kailangan nyo sa real estate, we're pretty much trained and equipped with the information.
Okay po. Mga wordings ko dito gagamitin natin medyo uso-uso naman. Leverage, no?
Okay.
So, since you're young, paano
Yes.
natin ma-leverage yung knowledge po natin about real estate po?
Well, of course, you know, I guess kasi I'm speaking more towards my clientele po. Yun po yung the younger people, the younger adults who are looking to purchase a house po, no? So when you're kind of starting from a canvas, starting from the ground up in your knowledge about real estate, ma-recommend ko po talaga is to actually research about like general questions about real estate. Like Google, how can I purchase my first home? Kung gusto niyo po ng mas in-depth, many realtors out there, including myself po, are hosting a lot of home buying seminars. So recently, I have hosted 2, and I have one coming up in May din po. So yeah, so if you attend those home buying seminars, they're really just going to give you a lot of information that otherwise Google probably won't be able to tell you, diba? Because when you're in a home buying seminar, you pretty much are talking to professionals who are local and who are specialized in, your unique needs, right? So you can even talk to them one-on-one, saying, okay, ito yung situation ko, what can I do, right? So they can give you like a general idea, and even then you can continue on off of that and get like a meeting by yourself and just expand your knowledge about just real estate in general just through meetings. Now, if you're in meetings, it doesn't necessarily mean na binded na po kayo, no? I feel like that's one of the things kasi na buyers are kind of wary of. Parang, oh, realtor, ayokong kausapin, ayoko muna magkaroon ng kontrata or something like that. But when you come to us, when you approach us, there's no obligation to be binded under contract if you just want advice. So you can always come to us.
Yun ang maganda sa pag-attend ng mga seminars, ano? It's
Yes.
in-person consultation. And again, as you mentioned, there's no obligation.
Yes.
Kailan ulit po ito? Yung
The
seminars?
seminar?
Yes.
Well, not sure when this is going to air, but May 4 po yung next seminar namin. It will be in Parkview Point, Broadview Homes Show Home. It is actually my dad's show home. Quick plug, Chris Ilagan po, new home sales agent from Broadview Homes. That is my father. And I will also be speaking with my mother, Fatima Ilagan po, who also was on this amazing interview. Yes, so we are working as a team. So we're going to be speaking to home buyers of all types po. Whether you're a newcomer, you're upgrading, you're an investor, wanting to buy your dream home po, pretty much our team is there to help guide you. And we'll also be with RBC mortgage specialist, Shani Santo Domingo, and Veronica Fernandez.
So may mga modules yan, no, on that seminar?
Yeah.
Like what po?
So pretty much it's all about home buying, no po. So of course, usually we try to structure it as similar to how a home buyer would kind of go through the process of home buying, diba? So, mauna po ang mortgage specialist natin. Of course, you know, it's always a good idea to get a pre-approval, diba? But I know it can be a little kind of scary or intimidating to look at your finances and see kind of where you are. Pero sa amin po, I always recommend it because yun po talaga yung magdidirect sa inyo about kung saan kayo patungo sa home buying, right? Kasi kung alam nyo na po yung situation nyo yourselves, then you are managing your expectations. Maging realistic po kayo, di ba? So, meron po tayong talks about mortgage, show interest rates, types of mortgages, and stuff like that. So, me and my mom naman po, we will be talking about the home buying process from the realtor side. So, tips on home buying, things to look out for during showings, how we can help you, negotiations, and all that. And finally naman po, my dad, Broadview Homes will talk about the home building process because it does look a little bit different from buying existing homes.
So, ang ganda ng team po ninyo.
Yes po.
So, you discussed the approach of buying and selling houses. And, of course, your generation is different.
Of course.
So, before, we have to get the client, pupunta sa bahay,
Yes.
show them off.
Yes.
Sa inyo, anong style na ngayon? Especially more on digital na ngayon.
Yes, actually po, well, I would say po actually, most of the clients still that I'm getting are still from face-to-face interactions. There may be some people who are interested that come to me through social media, pero it doesn't really get much past interest po. The people who are actually kind of converting into clients, they are actually the ones going to parang open houses po, diba? Open houses, going to show homes. Sometimes I sit in some of the show homes po. And dun ko po sila nami-meet, nakakausap. And from then on, parang I'm able to kind of generally lay out the information that they need. From there, we can go on our meetings and kung ano pang kailangan nila until we get to the point where I'm showing and I'm offering. Ganun po.
So, you mentioned offering and sa isa and offering
Showing
and
houses.
Showing, yes.
Yes.
Paki-expound po yan.
So, during that time po, so the process basically is, diba, usually when I meet a client first, we have a consultation. Say like I haven't met you at all before, diba, hindi kita kilala. I always like to try to get to know my clients first. So that initial phone call, text message, or just meet up, I'm really just trying to get to know as much of your situation as possible so that I know how to help you. Kasi naman po, diba, if I don't know much about what you need and if I just don't know much about what you need, then I can't help you in the way that you need. So I try to get as much information as possible from there. And from then on, sasabihin po sa akin nung prospective buyer, features of the house that I want, location that I want, specific characteristics of the house. Parang ganun po, diba? Then I tailor the search. I curate the search for them. Hanapin ko lang po sa listing portal namin yung available houses that suit their criteria. Isasend ko po sa kanila. And I will also do some suggestions and recommendations based on what you need. And from then on, we can go on showings. So when we go on showings, that's when we walk through the house. I'm able to show you all of the features of the house. But during showings po, it's always good to go with your realtor because we kind of have some training on looking out for red flags kung baga po, no? So, these are probably things na hindi mo siguro manonotice, especially if you're a first-time home buyer, diba? For example, red flags are things like mold. Kapag pumunta po kami sa bahay, punta kami sa basement, usually sa basement po nangyayari yan, no? And we smell this specific mildew, kind of damp smell. Parang us as a realtor, we're like, okay, there might be some water problems here. Pero if you're someone who doesn't really know much about houses, diba, you might not be able to tell kasi by smell lang po siya, diba? So yeah, we're able to point out certain issues like that po and bring it to your attention. Inform ka namin, okay, ito yung mga risks na to. And from then on, you know, if you want to go through with the offer naman, of course, we have to meticulously kind of explain every section of the offer kasi yung offer po, yun na yung contract natin. So, you have to put in all of your conditions like price, yung timeline nyo, like closing dates, whatever your other conditions are, diba? And from then on, we see if your offer gets accepted or not. Hopefully, it does, diba? And yeah, you just satisfy the conditions and then we can close.
Sa initial kanina, of course, maraming first-time home buyers is very excited to look for a house of their own. Maraming nag-expect, pero kanila expectation is beyond sa kanilang budget.
Yes.
Is the budget really important? Or before sila to have a consultation with you, dapat may set budget na sila?
No po. So I can definitely help anyone who is serious about looking for a house. That's all I ask naman po, diba? Seriousness in looking for a house. Kasi I know there's been stories that I've just heard. Fortunately, I haven't had the experience myself. Pero just buyers kind of leading on agents na di naman pala seryoso, but, you know, going on those showings and whatnot. So if you're a serious buyer naman, even if you don't have a pre-approval right when we meet, it's no problem with me. I will still help you and give you my utmost, all of my services, quality services. So, yeah, that's that. And I always recommend, like I said kanina po, to get a pre-approval first is my recommendation. That's because, yun nga, mafo-focus po natin yung search for your house po, diba? And yung gusto po nating ma-avoid by getting a pre-approval is ma-manage po yung expectations ng buyer. Kasi diba, meron pong mga situation where you fall in love with the house, right? You've been looking for a house for so long, it's been months. Finally, may nahanap kang bahay na gustong-gusto mo talaga. Offer ka, and then it comes down to, you know, so mag-offer ka and then the seller accepts your offer. Now you have to approve your financing condition. So ito po yung mortgage. Yung mortgage nyo kailangan ma-approve. Let's say then, hindi na-approve yung mortgage. Eh di hindi nyo po nakuha yung bahay, diba? And parang yung expectation nyo, yung excitement nyo and everything like that, all went down the drain just because hindi nyo po na-manage from the start. Kung ano po yung realistic for your specific needs and status and situation, yeah, that's just really what we want to avoid din po.
Nabanggit mo kanina, of course, lahat yan nag-expect din, hindi na nakuha. So, biglang nawala yung kanilang excitement.
Yes, exactly.
How do you manage those emotional stress or strain sa kliyente mo?
Yeah, well, when it comes to that po, diba, it's really just a matter of, you know, at that point kasi wala ka nang magawa. And it's really just, I take everything personally po, just as a reflection of who I am. Kung may rejection, I always think to myself, every no is one more step to a yes. And that's really just how you run the business of real estate po, diba? So if they got rejected for that house, that puts them one step closer to a house that they will absolutely love, that they will absolutely, you know, like fall in love with and nasuit lahat ng needs nila. That napasok sa budget nila, diba? So it's just bringing a positive mindset to your clients and not feeling defeated when they feel defeated. Kasi at that point, diba, yes, you're a realtor, you're showing them houses and you're doing your job technically, but you're also there as a person and as someone who's guiding them. You're also their support and their confidence in this process, especially if they're doing it for the first time.
Correct.
So you really just have to, you know, dapat strong din yung like you're just
Emotions mo, yes.
emotions mo, and di ka dapat nagpapadala sa mga ganon. So yeah.
Pero ganda sa sales kasi you're engaged sa clients mo,
Yes,
you're
of course.
representing them,
Yeah.
then nagiging friend mo na sila. Pag the end of the day, ay, hindi namin nakuha.
Yeah.
Sakit rin sa'yo rin,
Sakit,
personally.
yeah. I'm like, oh my God, so sorry, ganon, yeah.
So nabanggit natin is more on your, sa generation ninyo, is more online or digital. Anong may advice mo? Is it possible for online selling or offline selling pa rin?
For houses?
Yes.
Well, in the process itself naman, diba, everything, I would say it's kind of hard to sell a house, whether you're, if you're a buyer, it's hard to kind of purchase a house without being there in person of some sort, diba? Kasi, you know, there are pictures, and of course, as realtors, we try our best to show the exact image of the house online. Like, we try to show the house as it is, kung ano man yung social media na in-advertise namin. However, there are just some things that you can't really feel just through pictures or videos. We had a listing po, that when people came to the open house, they saw the marketing, they saw the videos, and they're like, wow, I didn't think this house would be as big as it was, because the pictures were just not doing it justice, diba? So some things like that, but you can't really feel the house by just looking at it online. Similar to literally just buying anything online, like clothes po, diba? It may look good on the model, but when it comes to you fitting the clothes yourself, parang iba yung itsura, diba? So I think it would be very hard to purchase a house, or yeah, it'd be very hard to purchase a house only through online negotiations. I mean, when it comes to online naman po, documentation can be emailed. Madali lang po yun, diba?
DocuSign na lang siya.
Yes po. I was even able to do an offer when I was in the Philippines, diba? So I wasn't physically present, pero I was still able to sell a house in the Philippines. Kasi DocuSign, emailing, and all that, diba? Pero I was still there for showing and the walkthrough. And I met the client in person, so that they are able to get a feel of, who I am naman po, diba? Kasi you're working with a realtor. This is a big purchase, diba? Kailangan may trust ka dun sa kausap mo. So, yeah, I would definitely just recommend you to go out there and meet whoever you're dealing with in person to see the property in person.
Saka maraming it's a home na bibili mo. At maraming pamahiin na pagpasok mo sa bahay, may energy na, di ba? Kung tama ba yung energy, wow, gusto ko to.
Yeah, exactly.
May mga feng shui rin na involved. Na-experience mo yun, di ba?
Na-experience ko po yun. Sometimes, there would be buyers, well, depending naman po sa culture, and it's not to, bash on any other culture, but it's definitely like, in this business, you meet a lot of unique people, and a lot of people who have different cultures, different backgrounds, traditions, beliefs. For example, I had a buyer before who was looking for houses, pero the house number had to be a specific number, parang ganun po, or the house had to be like north facing or something like that. And with buyers, you really just have to listen to them and understand what they want. For example, like, it might not matter to you, diba? Like, if I was a buyer, hindi naman yan diba? But it's not about you, it's about the client, and it's about the buyer, or it's about the seller. Yeah.
Of course, hindi mo aalis pa rin yan. Every culture has different traditions na
Of course,
sinusunod.
yeah.
Special. Okay. So, maraming bidders, maraming hot market ngayon. How do you handle these multiple bidders?
So yun po. So currently it's spring po, diba? And usually, a typical spring market, ganito po yung itsura niya. It's a seller's market ang tawag po natin sa kanya. So, a seller's market is when there is a lot more demand, a lot more buyers compared to the inventory or the sellers in the market. So, yun po ang the reason why there is a lot of competition in the market. Because you have a lot of buyers, pero ganito lang yung supply. Unti lang yung pagpipilian nyo, diba? So, for some houses, there will be moments where there will be multiple offers. Kaya po, nabebenta yung bahay ng over asking price. But that's not to say that if you're a buyer, lahat ng bahay na mag-offer ka, ganun yung situation, right? So it's really dependent on a lot of factors. For example, what price range is the house at? Or what location is it at, diba? So it really, again, it really depends, diba? It's on a case-by-case basis.
So yung trend is paiba-iba?
Yes.
Okay, nagsishift rin yung trend. And yung buyer preference paiba-iba rin. Anong na-observe mo sa market today?
Well, for buyer preference, I'm just thinking. So, I feel like, I'm speaking from my own experiences and my own clientele, diba? It's interesting because, like I said, most of my clients or my database, they're younger adults who are, for example, young couples who just got engaged, or young couples who just got married, or young families na a baby's on the way and they want to have their own space, diba? Parang ganon. And believe it or not, these first-time home buyers, as we call them, diba? First-time home buyers, they are the ones who are kind of aiming for the higher level houses. Ganon. So, if, for example, right now, I have three clients who, are probably in, I would say, 26 to 30 years old, right? So no one is over 30 yet. But they have looked for houses in the price ranges of siguro mga 400 and up. Regardless, it's a brand new home na hinahanap nila, diba? So I find that because there's such a shift, I think, with my generation and the generation before us, na millennials and Gen Z, kind of like aiming high from the get-go. Kasi I feel like ito ang lagi ko sinasabi, like, we don't like to seclude ourselves in a box. Our generation, I feel like, is so, like, we like to go outside of the box when it comes to our careers. I see a lot more people being more creative with their careers, and I see a lot more people that, they're able to have the means to finish your education, to finish a high level of education, na yung first full-time real job nila, mataas na yung salary, like a nurse or something, right? So that's kind of why I feel like a lot of younger people now, first-time home buyers, are aiming for those higher priced houses. Yeah.
Ang ganda sa generation nyo is you take the risk.
Yes.
Very risky kayo.
Yes.
Sa generation namin, takot kami, pag-iisipan namin everything. So, iba, nag-iiba yung market trend.
It's not like takot naman, but I would say there's also how do you say this? There's also the appeal of safety and the safety net, diba? Kasi nga naman, I feel like it's different when the home buyer is someone, like they're a couple, versus a newcomer to Canada who already has 3 children. Parang may pressure po kasi, diba? Whereas this young couple, they're just starting kind of like their life journey together. And you could say compared to the two, medyo less pressure yung this new couple, right? So in terms of that, I don't think it's like, takot po or whatever. I think it's just the pressure is different. Kaya po, mas appealing ang just safety for another party, diba?
Correct. Tama po, well said po yun.
Yes.
Yung pressure po yung word doon. Last 2 questions po. How do you support the sellers po throughout the entire home selling process?
Yeah, so my thing with sellers po kasi is really just connection. Connection is my number one thing kasi if you are not able to connect, even with buyers, if you're not able to connect with your client, there's not going to be any trust in there. So, if your seller doesn't trust you, diba? Let's say gumawa ka ng comparative market analysis. So, CMA is when realtors are able to look at comparable houses in the market, and from there, we can determine kung ano yung market value ng bahay nyo. So, when you present that to them, parang, oh, sure ka ba? Oh, parang baba naman yan. Like, oh, really? Parang ganun, diba? Kung wala ka masyadong connection and there's no trust. So, in order to have like the smoothest transaction possible, you need trust and you need transparency between both parties. I always say like you have to reciprocate you always have to reciprocate the transparency, because I'm being transparent with what I'm able to provide to you right now. But in order for me to provide, you have to be transparent for me as well. And yeah, just being like consistent with the communication is also key, because it's really the worst when you're expecting a lot from your realtor, diba? Pero parang, for lack of better term, parang medyo careless sila sa handling your transaction, diba? So with that, obviously I can offer you all of the standard practices. So we will go through a listing appointment. So that's a consultation. That's usually our initial meeting. That's when I first see the house and yung parang first impressions, ganon. And then we go through the preparation stage. So I help you stage or, clean or whatever you need. I'm able to go above and beyond in that aspect then. And then we do the media stuff. So take professional photos and videos. I also make my own reels as well. So if you're able to look at that through Instagram, I really, really love making my own reels. And I think it's just a really great space for me to really just, look at this space and be like, okay, this is the great feature of this house. Parang ganun, diba? If you really like what you're selling, you can sell it, diba? So there's that. So after the media, you do marketing, like I said, the reels and all that, and Instagram, Facebook. And after that, then open houses. So I really love open houses. I genuinely love open houses po. I think open houses is the time where the house can really shine, diba? Because people can just walk in and, walang pressure to them kasi some people don't have an agent. Some people are walking in because sinend sila ng agent. People are walking in and feeling this space by themselves, no limit, no nothing. And that's the time that I'm able to present all of the possible information that you might need. So I like to go all out with open houses. You need feature sheets. I will design the feature sheets myself and research your house, the features and the location and the amenities myself. Meron kami actually po in our last listing. Someone, I think it was 2 walk-ins, kinomplement po yung feature sheets. And that's because they said, this was the best feature sheet I've seen. Like, it has all of the information I need. Kasi my question siya about catchment schools. Okay, what's the catchment school in this area? And I'm like, okay, ito po yung feature sheet natin. Ito po yung catchment school. Ito po yung available daycares, preschools, elementary schools, high schools, and post-secondary. Diba? And sabi niya sa akin, wow, like, when I go to other open houses, they're not able to tell me that. They're always saying like, oh, okay, I'm not sure, but I'll go check, right? Be prepared, because that's how the potential buyers are gonna walk in and be like, oh, wow, okay, this is a great listing, and I have all the information I need right then and there. There's no reason for me to kind of like doubt. Parang ganun po, diba? So, yeah, just be prepared. And when the time comes after the showings, we go through offers and obviously, the closing procedures. And yeah, even after closing, I'm able to give out my services with whatever the client needs. So.
Wow, malayo to mararating ni Maegan. At least I'm very proud to say na-interview ko siya dito sa 899 Action Center.
Yes.
Okay. And lastly, advices to the sellers and buyers of housings.
Yeah, I mean, it's really just when you work with a realtor, make sure it's a realtor that you can put your full confidence in. And it's not a realtor na parang, careless, or, you want to ensure that your house is probably at the current moment in time, one of your biggest assets. Diba? You don't want to give it to someone who won't care about you. Like I said kanina, my thing is connection with my clients. And with that connection, me being in a team with my mom, I've seen how by caring for your clients, you can really go a long way. Kasi parang, some people might look at it as like, okay, I have a client, I'm just going to sell their house. I'm just going to help them buy their house quickly and that's it. Like, no. For us, you have to find a realtor really who is there for you for the whole process through thick and thin. Because you don't want your realtor like quitting on you suddenly or something like that, diba? Go find someone you trust, because when you're talking to someone you trust, like, you're sure to be guided in the right direction. And you're sure to be able to have that connection that you can keep literally for the rest of your life until you go to your dream home and, you stay there until you retire and whatever. And like, that's it, right? Like, we're here to build lifelong connections. So if you're trying to find a realtor, best advice I could give you, find a realtor that you trust. And hopefully for a lot of you there, we can become that person for you. You can reach me at my phone number, 431-278-4960. My email address is meaganilagan@royallepage.ca. My Instagram, business Instagram for myself is Maegan.Ilagan. Facebook is Maegan Ilagan. And exciting news for everyone watching. Like I mentioned, I will be teaming up with my mom, Fatima Ilagan. So we will now officially be called the Ilagan Group. So you can reach us through Instagram and Facebook at the Ilagan Group. And yeah, hopefully we're able to kind of service you and bring our connections to you. We're definitely excited to be helping you guys out. So yeah, just feel free to reach us and we will be there to help.